Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace.
So it feels really, really good to be back up in this area. North Wales with the 4x5 camera. Just came up here to spend a few days getting back into the swing of things. Haven't spent nearly as much time as I'd hoped up here this year, but I'm hoping to change that. So I have a bunch of spots I want to visit, but today in particular, there's two locations that I want to photograph, more kind of landscape oriented, and I'm kicking things off this morning very early. It's about 5:30 a.m. at one of the more kind of iconic places up here. Just up the river here is Aber Falls. So for my Slate City project, I kind of have this like ongoing list of subjects I want to photograph and things to add to the project. And one of those is just adding more kind of like dramatic landscapes, specifically waterfalls. And this one has been on my list for quite some time, but yeah, like I said, it's one of the most popular. I came here last trip and it's so busy here. This is like the place to go. So hence the very early start. Getting eaten alive by flies here. I've never seen it like this up here. But it's about maybe a kilometer and a half walk up to the falls. And when you get here, you realize why this place is so popular. It's just about a 120-foot plunge at the bottom of the kind of foothills in this valley. It's beautiful out here. Starting to see it right now. So this is the view you see as you start to get close, and yeah, just absolutely beautiful, this scene. The water coming down over the mountain there, the sheep. Very peaceful this morning. Okay, this is the place. Like I said, pretty incredible sight and a very different vibe than the last time I was here, but I think probably in like an hour, 2 hours at the most, this place is gonna start to fill up. So nice to have it all to myself, and I think I'll find a spot and get the 4x5 set up. Okay, so I've had a little bit of a mooch around and found something a little more challenging than I expected, to be honest, but I think I found something I like, which is, of course, in the most awkward spot possible, down this hill, basically set up right on the side of it. So unpack this gear, see if I can fit this in there somehow. So like I said, ending up in basically the most awkward spot. All right, so this is turning into just a comedy of errors. Might not be able to see this, but way down there is my film holder bag down in the river. I was bringing all my stuff down and set it down on this incredibly steep hill, and it took a tumble. So it's sitting in the water right now, and I'm hoping it's not getting completely drenched. This is ridiculous. That could have been much worse. I think we're good. Still a little wet. All right, so I think this is the composition I like the most so far. I would love to be about 5 feet closer. Basically, I have this tree here on the left, the branch coming over. I'm shooting portrait orientation on the 105, kind of looking up. And originally I just wanted the branch coming in, the top branch, but with where I am, I have all of the tree kind of in the left-hand side of the frame, which I'm not a huge fan of, so I might crop after, but we'll see how it is. I like this though. It's kind of you have the bushes framing the waterfall here, and you kind of have the branch coming out over top. So I'm shooting some HP5 today, a little bit faster than I would have liked for this. Would have been nice to have something slower, but I'm gonna rate it at 320. And I'm gonna shoot this at f22. And I'm just spot metering the green kind of bushes with green leaves out there. And I'm getting about a 15th of a second These ones in here are 1/4 of a second. So about 2 stops under, which is fine because I want this dark. And the waterfall's a 60th, which is 2 stops over the 15th, which is fine. So I think I'll go 15th, and I'm probably going to ND this as well. So I ended up shooting 2 versions of this scene, one in landscape orientation as well. And then afterwards, decided to move up the hill a bit to see if I could find another composition that might work a bit better. Okay, so I think I got something here. Pretty simple composition, portrait orientation, have the cascade kind of running from right to left through the frame, and then gonna include some of the foreground here, and then also gonna include the sky, which originally I wasn't going to. I was gonna tilt down a bit and have more of the foreground, but I do like it as an element in the frame. So we'll see how it goes. Starting to cloud over a little bit to balance out the exposure a bit better. But yeah, meter, we'll shoot this one. This will give me 2 options. Okay, so I'm gonna go f/22 again, and this should stay pretty much the same. It might have got a little bit darker, but I'd like to probably get to that second again. So I'm just gonna spot meter some of this green grass and kind of like shrubs. I'm not saying 1/10 of a second, which is what we had last time, and I'm gonna switch over to incident mode, just as a double check, and this is saying a 15th. So I'll go 15th. I have the 3-stop ND on. That would take us down to 1/2 a second. So I might stop down a little bit more and go to a second, just for motion in that water. So yeah, happy with that. So I don't mind the images I made at this spot, but after reviewing them, I feel like there's more potential here, maybe with some different conditions. But next it was time to visit a drastically different location, much more challenging, but one that completely exceeded my expectations and where I found exactly what I was hoping for. And we'll get to that next. Just have to quickly talk about the sponsor today, which is Squarespace.
So I've been using Squarespace for a number of years now, and what I love is how easy it is to build a clean, professional looking website for your photography that can grow with you. And to do this, you can use one of their pre-made templates, or you can use something like their blueprint builder, which allows you to build your site from scratch, but gives you really helpful tools like different page layouts, color palettes, and font pairings. It's also really easy to add, customize, and tweak your website. As an example, if I want to make a new gallery, I can simply click and drag to upload images and also to reorder them. But it's also great if you want to do more advanced things like, say, add an online shop. And at the start of this year, I decided to offer some limited prints for sale, and Squarespace made the entire process very streamlined, from setting up a shop page to payment processing and fulfillment. So check out squarespace.com today, sign up for a free trial, test it out, and when you're ready to launch, you can use my link below to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain.
All right, so welcome to spot 2. This is the parking lot, the trailhead for spot 2. And it's about 4 o'clock now, so a lot of the day has passed. I was chilling out for a while. It's been raining all afternoon, so I've been waiting for this to pass. It'll be really good for the falls that I'm going to, but not so much for walking. So I was hoping it would die down, but I think I'm just gonna have to commit and get very wet. But you know, the falls this morning was beautiful, but this second spot, this is the one that I'm really looking forward to. This is more my style. Old abandoned slate landscape, slate quarry, and there's a falls in the middle. People call it the hidden secret waterfall of Snowdonia. That's what the internet calls it, but it looks pretty amazing. So yeah, a couple kilometer hike out, and I think I'm just gonna have to get wet. So we'll get to it. All right, so decided to go for it. Still raining, but pretty much no avoiding this one. But walking in right now, this quarry, this opened up in the 1846 or 7, and it was open for 100 years. It closed in 1946, I believe. And this was a very substantial quarry back in the day. And yeah, like I said, these falls look really interesting. It's funny though, the trail I was supposed to take, apparently it's this beautiful walk in along the river, but it was roped off, so I'm basically on a road and it's going straight up constantly. So working for this one.
Okay, so I'm just filming with my phone. I don't want to pull up the Lumix. This might be the worst rain I've actually ever experienced in Wales, and possibly the wettest I've ever been, which is saying something because I've had some pretty bad trips before, but hiding out under this tree, completely drenched to the bone. So I'll be pretty impressed if I'm able to get there and still pull this off. Oh, good old Wales. Getting close, gotta be. Whoa. Look at that. It's just one of those ones where you're like so wet that it doesn't even matter anymore. You just walk through anything. Can't get more wet. I think we're up here. Out of the woods. If my map's correct, it should just be up here. I think I see something. This has got to be it. There it is.
Okay, so this is one of those places that the camera is absolutely not going to do justice. It's way more impressive than I thought it was going to be. You know, the pictures online, I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. Honestly, like, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Have the main falls that's running, even have the second fall, so obviously that rain that I kind of trudged through on the way here has got this thing flowing really good. What a scene. So not quite as awkward as the setup this morning, but close. Probably going to be pretty hard to see, but this is what we're working with. Pretty simple composition. Just center framing the cascade there, cutting off the top before the sky. Keeping it only trees and a little bit of space at the bottom. Simple. Simple, simple. It's all it needs to be. And then lots of movement in those falls. Okay, so we're gonna go FP4. So I'm gonna rate it at 100. And we'll go F22 for this. I'm gonna meter that green grass down there, and that's basically giving me a second. Leaning more towards half a second. And I think a second is probably fine. Just because it's one of those things where it's like too slow of a shutter speed, you'll lose all detail in that water, but not slow enough, and it might not have as much kind of blur to it. So I think a second is good. Might even shoot 2 frames, one at a second and then throw on ND and do quite a heavy one. Okay, that was one. Just because I don't know how long I'm gonna have here with the weather, I'm gonna shoot one more as a pure experiment. I'm gonna throw on that 4-stop ND. that we were using earlier this morning, and I'm gonna go very long with my exposure time. So we'll do 15 seconds with reciprocity. This will be interesting. So I got my reciprocity timer app here, and I'm going FP4, 15 seconds, 30 seconds. All right, let's do it. I would love to shoot down below, kind of right at the base of the falls, but one, I actually don't think a 105 is going to be wide enough for that, just judging on how it framed up here. And then two, there's so much spray coming off there right now, I think it's just going to add to the chaos of wetness. But there is a nice view from up top, and there's this mist lingering. So I think I'll go to a frame there, and then, yeah, see where we're at. All right, so this is a pretty neat scene here. You know, up here, kind of looking down, it's framed in a little bit by the bushes, so might go landscape orientation for this. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so this is the composition for this one right here. Like I said, going landscape orientation. And pretty simple again with this, but I just love how these kind of bushes, trees in the foreground frame it, and they kind of meet each other in the center, and the falls goes down the center, and still no sky. Tell you what, days like this, the ones that are kind of ridiculous, this is honestly what it's all about. You know, trudging through these puddles and just in this like intense downpour and getting absolutely soaked, and then getting out to spots like this. I love it. You know, it's so interesting, the contrast. Like this morning, you know, this kind of like nice casual gravel trail out to this kind of scenic, more touristy falls, and it was a beautiful spot. And don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed it, but it's little kind of like small adventures like this, more remote areas, getting wet, you know, trudging through stuff, and then just having a place like this, not to jinx myself, but to myself. Amazing. This is honestly what it's all about. Gonna do one with HP5 with the red filter. Mist is coming in again. And I think we're just gonna keep all of our settings the same. I have to compensate 2.5 stops for the filter. So I'm gonna just leave this at 2 seconds. We'll do reciprocity for HP5. That's funny, 2 seconds is 2 seconds. All right. Well, as much as I would love to stay at this place, I think that's gonna do it. It's starting to get late, soaked to the bone, and got a little bit of a hike out. But I mean, 100% glad I decided to just go for it. You know, this place certainly exceeded expectations, like I said. One of the nicest places I've been to, and yeah, just fun to rough it through some conditions this afternoon. But overall, I mean, a really good day. Starting the morning out at, you know, the first set of falls, and then coming here, two very different places. But I'm excited to see the images, and yeah, just excited to get back up here again. This place just constantly surprises me, North Wales. Anyways, I'm gonna pack up, hike out, Hope you enjoyed this bit of a crazy day. And yeah, thank you for watching as always. I'll see you pretty soon.